Hi, everybody, and welcome to another beautiful, amazing, fantastic, extraordinary presentation for the Hypnosis Master Summit. And I'm super excited because now we have with us none other than Sheila Granger, who is one of the most famous hypnotists in the UK and all world around, because as she's dubbing herself, she's a professional hypnotherapist and Earth's best helper to hypnosis businesses. So if you are into the world of hypnosis and you practice hypnosis and you want to get a better business out of it, then this is the presentation to watch and to learn from. Sheila is a transformational leader in personal business and the business development, and she's a multi-award winning hypnotherapist and business owner. She has been described by some as Britain's leading hypnotist and also as a magician of belief and creator of programs that work like magic. So I think you see where we're getting with this. She's been recognized for her work by the International Medical and Dental Hypnosis Association as the Hypnotist of the Year in 2019. She's, of course, and I say of course because almost everybody who's doing hypnosis is aware of this, but if you're just new, now you learn about this. She's the creator of the widely acclaimed virtual gastric band weight loss program. So let's say welcome to Sheila Granger, and let's see what she has to say. Welcome, Sheila. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing your knowledge with us.
Yeah, great to be here, Eugene, and I'm delighted to have been asked.
Yes, of course.
I mean, I'm hoping today to be able to share some content that people can go away and immediately think about for their own hypnosis business and put into place. Because, without doubt, the pandemic that has massively accelerated online, massively.
Yeah.
And, there will be some hypnotists who think, well, I want to go back to seeing people just one-on-one and face-to-face. And there'll be others that think, well, I want to stay online. And either way, it doesn't matter. We've still got to look at, well, how do we market online? And, we've got a massive opportunity in that, the pandemic has given us an even bigger opportunity to reach out to people anywhere in the world. And people more than ever are now used to, having things online, instant access to things. So it's how we cut through the noise of all the other marketing messages that people get bombarded with every day on social media feeds, so that people take notice of us and we start to build our business as a result.
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
it's really a presentation that is suitable for perhaps people who are just new and starting up in the industry, because if we're going to start up and we're going to help more people, we've got to learn how to market to people to bring those people in so we can help them. You can all see my chair in the background with the hit snooze cushion on it, and I can only help people with changes in their life if people are sitting in that chair. Or they're opposite me on a Zoom camera. We can't help people if we've got empty chairs. So it's how we get people to contact us in this online world. And even from the point of view of growing our businesses. So, we may already have a hypnosis business, but it's how do we improve that marketing to grow it even more? So marketing, unfortunately, although it's a bit of a dirty word, isn't it? People think, oh, I don't know if I want to do marketing. I don't want to do that bit. I just want to be a hypnotist. That's all I want to be. I just want to be a hypnotist. But unfortunately, without the marketing piece, it's very difficult these days to just be that hypnotist, without any marketing in place at all, or certainly to grow it. And so hopefully today I can share a few things about online that and marketing that people can put into place straight away that fits in with this modern or this world that we've landed in today. Marketing can be fun as well. It doesn't have to be, oh, this is a drudgery. I don't like doing this. It can be fun because you see the results from it, you get the feedback from people, and it makes you want to do more of it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Many people actually, when they think of marketing, they think of it like something sleazy, something that I don't want to deal with. I'm a purist. I am here to help people. And they get this wrong impression that marketing is actually trying to convince people of something, and they should not be doing that. Like this is not what I'm here for. I'm here to help people.
Mm, 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 mm. But marketing really is about helping people. So if we spin that completely, it's actually about helping people because
Mhm.
I'm sure probably lots of people have heard the old adage, people buy from people that they know, like, and trust.
Yeah,
You know yourself, if you see something on your social media feed and you think, oh, that's just salesy, somebody's just trying to sell something to me. But something else might catch your eye and you think, well, that's really interesting to watch. That person has given you some value or something good to think about, or they've actually made you feel good just reading what they've put.
yeah,
Um, so we've got to build that know, like, and trust, but build it online. And the first thing maybe for people to think about, because these days video is king. Um, and the reason that video is king is because we tend to stop the scroll. When we tend to consume more video than anything else.
yeah.
And the first thing to think about on people's perhaps social media feeds is we've got to stop the scroll. We've got to
Hmm.
draw people's attention to whatever it is, the post that we've put, the video that we've put up. We've got to find a way that actually stops people scrolling, because yourself, I do it. I pick up my phone, I put
Hmm.
Facebook, and I'll scroll. And unless it's something that really grabs my attention, I'll just carry on scrolling. So a lot of the
Yeah,
time, our marketing messages, nobody sees it. We think that when we post something, everybody sees it, and they really don't.
yeah,
Nobody sees it. And we can't be, if we're really going to help people and we are going to be the profession that people know about, that people talk about, then we've got to be out there. We cannot be the world's greatest secret. Because if you become the world's greatest secret, then how can we help anybody?
yeah.
How can we share the gifts that we have of this profession? So, I mean, if we think about video then to begin with, and I would recommend that everybody thinks about video on their website.
Hmm.
If you think, okay, somebody has found me on my website, Google, whatever they've done, they've come across you. Um, we really want to form an instant connection with somebody straight away.
Yeah,
We don't want to be looking at a load of text to think, oh, is this the site I need? Because yourself, you've landed on some website, you're looking through, is this the site I need to be on? Now, unless there's something instant that pops out at you, you'll click off onto something else. So when somebody's landed on our website, that's our first chance for somebody to get to know us and to think, oh, is this person the person to work with? Do they seem to know what they're talking about? Do I like the look of this person? Do they resonate with me?
yeah,
So if we have a video on the homepage of our website that immediately somebody lands on it and there's you saying, oh, hi, I'm Sheila Granger. Thanks ever so much for visiting my website today. You might be looking for help with this, this, and this. And, come across straight away as that personable, and let somebody know what you want them to do next. What's the next steps for them? Is it
yeah,
go to this page on my website and click this, or click this schedule button for a strategy call? Make it personable. And there's a number of videos that we should think about for our website. And one of those is answering the frequently asked questions.
hmm,
And those frequently asked questions, we get asked so many times, oh, will hypnosis work for me? Can I actually be hypnotized? What's going to happen when I come for this appointment or I have this meeting with you? How is this going to work? If we've already explained all of that to somebody, that it's actually building trust.
hmm.
Answer the questions that a lot of people aren't willing to put on websites. You know, Explain your pricing. Some people think, oh, I don't think I should have prices, because really, I want somebody to ring me up so I get a chance to explain the benefits of what I can do to help them, and then I'll tell them how much it's going to be. We want to be transparent, completely transparent. And yeah, your prices might be something that are beyond some people, but then they might not be probably your customer that you're looking for. Whereas if you explain your pricing model, because if you think about it with pricing, so let's take the example that we're going to try a new restaurant. We've heard about this new restaurant that's opening, and you think, oh, I might try that this Friday. So we'll look it up. We'll go on Google, at the Google reviews. That's one thing, isn't it? Look at Google reviews. What's everybody
Yeah.
else say? We like to look at, oh, is there a little video or photos of what the inside of this restaurant looks like? So that's another point. Okay, should we have a
Yeah.
video that shows, what your therapy room looks like, what somebody can expect when they come? And then we'll go on the menu for the restaurant. Now, when there's no prices next to how much any of those dishes are, what are our first thoughts? Oh, maybe this is too expensive.
Yeah.
Or, but it's not the fact that it might be expensive that stops us booking. It is the not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
It is the not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
So the not knowing can work against us massively. So I would recommend a video as well on, your pricing structure. How do you decide how much something is going to cost? What increases the price? What decreases the price?
Yeah.
What are your charges? Because all these things will simply build trust with people. You're being open, you're being transparent, and you're providing the answers straight away to somebody. They're not having to, fish around on your website. Because if you went on a website and you were looking for the price of something, you thought, do you sit there and think, oh, it must be on this website somewhere. I'll just keep scrolling all the way down and look at all the different
Yeah.
pages to try and find the price? You wouldn't. You just think, all right, I'll move on to something else. So we want to engage people as fast as possible. Have chance for them to know, like, and trust us, so that they're then ready
Mm-hmm.
to take the next move. And I even do it with people who, perhaps you get an inquiry from somebody. I'm interested in your hypnosis services. Can you give me a price? How much would it be? Now, you get that quite often, don't you? An email. How much would it be for virtual gastric band?
Yeah.
And we need to be able to answer people really quickly. People these days want instant answers. They don't want to wait. Because in the moment that they can connect with you or send that email, they are interested in buying your services. At that
Mm-hmm.
point, they are hot, if you like. So if we don't get back to them for 24 hours, they've probably gone cold on the idea.
Yeah.
So how quick is your customer service? How quick is it? And people want different methods of being able to contact you. And
Yeah.
we can, we can say as a business, well, the way I work is by Facebook Messenger or website inquiries. I don't do WhatsApp, or
And if you
we've
don't
got,
like it, go away, kind of a thing.
yeah,
That's
yeah, but yeah, but we shouldn't have that attitude, should we? If you don't like
yeah.
it,
Yeah.
go away. We've got to fit in with what our customer wants, and provide
Yeah.
the service the way that they want it. I think sometimes we've always got to think, how important is it to you to get a customer? How important is it?
Yeah.
And so, we've got to go all out to make that happen and meet the customer's needs. And if you like, wow them a little bit with our communication.
Yeah.
If a customer contacts me, then and I might try and ring them on the phone fairly quickly, but if I can't get hold of them, I will send them a video. And
And
it's
what do
a
you say in the video? Is
so,
that like a
yeah,
generic video or?
yeah, yeah. So I mean, the more, obviously it's a time-bound thing. So, you know, if the ideal is if it's personal to them.
Mhm.
Um, but how long does it take to shoot a video? You know, and I'm not talking fancy videos. You know, we can record a video on our phone in 2 minutes, can't we? And press send.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be something that takes you a long time. But, you know, you could just send that customer a really quick video. Hi, Cheryl. It's Sheila Granger here. I've just tried to reach you on the telephone. I've got your inquiry through my website. Um, it's definitely something I can help with. I'd love to talk to you about it a bit further, but I just thought I'd send you this quick video just to say
Mhm.
hi. You know, just something really simple. But for the person opening it, they think, oh, that's
Yeah.
her. Oh, that's nice. She sent me a
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
Um,
I recently had an event, like a big event, and I can vouch for what you're saying right now, because with this event, I had actually people who said, well, you know what? I didn't expect to get a response to my question, let alone get it in like under 5 minutes.
mm, mm,
Because I was actually on my computer like every waking hour. I was sitting here for the
mm,
entire event.
mm,
Um, and as soon as an email came in, I was just responding, and I actually told them, the only time when it's going to take longer is because I'm asleep. But other than that, I'll just respond as soon as I can for that
yeah.
particular event. So people would
Mm,
notice it. People will notice it because like, we're human. So,
yes, yeah. And, you know, people, you know, we should think more about our communication and our, because it's all about providing a service, isn't it? We're in a service industry at the end of the day. And if you can wow somebody with your service, then they are going to talk about you.
mm,
You know, in a way, regardless of the result that they get from you, they're going to talk about how good your service was. You know, when we look at wanting increasing, you know, Google reviews, so um, we should go out for as many reviews as possible, because again, if you think about it, if you book a hotel, if you book or looking to book a restaurant or any service, we will tend to go on reviews and see what the people have said.
mm,
Now, now you can set up your reviews in multiple ways. It could be Trustpilot, it could be Google My Business, any way at all. But go for systematic review collection, and those
mm,
reviews can be about the service. It's not necessarily just about the hypnosis itself. If somebody went and put on a Google review, oh, great service. What do other people read into that? They think, oh, it must work then. Whatever this person's had must work.
mm.
So the more of that we can collect, the better. When we look at online marketing, when somebody Googles your name or looks you up, what is it that they say? What do they say? Um,
uh, you know, b- how is this person, or has anyone tried this, session, or this person, or, this service, or,
mm, mm, mm. So it's about, showing what it is that we can do,
mm,
people getting to know us, and that everything that's put out there or seen is positive.
mm,
So that anybody new who doesn't know you at all will fall on your website or your social media feeds, and all they see is positive.
yeah.
I think sometimes the mistake we can make and people think, oh, well, with my personal Facebook, I should be able to, give my views on political issues and
Yeah.
really, it's a bit of a mistake, because anybody can see what's put on social media. So,
Hmm.
is that going to put off your potential clients?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
we're giving
Yeah.
personal views about things. We should be like the voice of light, shouldn't we? And positive messages, and when you're looking to build up people following what it is that you're doing, because we need different, if you like, messages for different people. So there'll be people who know nothing about you and they know nothing about hypnosis. So we might look at educating those people with, helpful things,
Hmm.
helpful videos on different subjects. And really, as hypnotists, we
Yeah,
cannot run out of content. We cannot, because we only need to look at the number of things hypnosis can help with. And I
yeah,
always say, take the word hypnosis away from it. It's just about how people think. And if
yeah.
we look at it in terms of how people think, that means we can take hypnosis into any area. And if you like, I'm living proof of that. I've done it in schools and colleges, in businesses,
Hmm.
you name it. I've kind of taken hypnosis into that arena. And but that's just all about the fact that I've put out consistent messages all the time, and them being positive and helpful. So the more we can be consistent in what it is that we're producing online, and give and don't be afraid to almost give things away. Give away as much content as possible, because sometimes if we're just putting messages out that are just buy now, book my services, buy now, book my services, that's salesy. That's the turn off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas if we're putting things out that are helpful, and that give value instantly, that people can look at it and think, well, actually, I could do that right away without booking your services, or that's fine. You've still helped them, and they will
But don't
still
you
be on
then lose
board.
your clients if you give them stuff for free?
Mm, yeah, and that's what people think, and we don't. We just build more trust. We just build more trust all the time. And it's if we build, if you don't do anything else but put a post-it note on your computer that says build trust,
Yeah.
and everything that you do is about doing that, what you create is longevity in your business. You will get people coming in the months and years to come, and it won't matter if Facebook has an outage. It won't matter if Facebook disappears. It won't matter if YouTube disappears, because what you've built is trust. And as
Hmm.
soon as
Hmm.
if you've done that, it doesn't matter what else happens, because you will always have longevity in your business.
Hmm.
So we need to be the, if you like, the voice of hypnosis,
Yeah.
and sing the benefits and show the benefits. So if we can release case studies, client testimonial videos, snapshots of our Google reviews, um, and release helpful content all the time, people will buy your services. They will buy your services. Um, but it's a consistent thing that we've got to keep doing. You can't almost do it one week and think, oh yeah, in 6 months' time I might think about doing that again.
Yeah.
And all these things are uncomfortable. I get it that people think, oh, this is scary, especially if we're new to it. We think, oh, this is scary. I don't want to do videos. I don't want to appear on camera. Or have I got the right equipment to do this? I'll wait until everything's perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be yourself. You just have to be yourself.
Say that again, say that again, because that's so important.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to be yourself.
And
Because
I was
people might
having,
do.
I'm sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
Mm. No, no, you go ahead now.
I said, I was going to say that when you when you are yourself, you don't have to try hard to do or be anything, because
Mm,
you're just yourself. You don't have to have a face to save. You don't have to, try and because every time when you're not yourself, that
mm,
is an effort. You have to
mm,
keep up with the Joneses, right? Because
mm,
you're not the Joneses, you're yourself. So
mm,
as long as you need or want to keep up with the Joneses for whatever reason, you're not yourself.
yeah, yeah. And the big killer with all of that is comparison. So,
Mm,
especially if we're fairly new into the industry, or even if we look at growing our business, we tend to look at we draw comparisons with other people in the industry and think, oh, that person's doing these videos and they're so good or they're so perfect and they come across so well and they've got so much knowledge, and I don't think I've got that amount of knowledge, so I can't put myself out there because they've got so much more knowledge than I have.
Yeah.
But they're not attracting the same people that you're attracting. There will be some people who, will watch this video and think, "Oh, I don't like her," or "Oh, I don't like Eugen." And who
What?
could, exactly, who could possibly say
Yeah.
that?
Who said that? Show them to
Yeah,
me.
yes, yes, out, get out. But we attract the people who are right for us. So by being yourself, and sharing what you know, you will attract the people that are right for you. You are not looking to talk to the people that the other people who are doing videos are talking to. So, don't, I've always taken the view, even with
Mhm.
hypnosis sessions, when I started off, when I thought I didn't know enough, what is the worst that's going to happen here? What is the
Mhm.
worst that's going to happen? The worst that's going to happen is that people don't respond to my video, or but that is the worst that's going to happen. It's a bit like hypnosis. The worst that's going to
Yeah.
happen is nothing will happen.
Yeah.
Um, but and it's interesting because when I was mentioned earlier about releasing videos on pricing, there was a lady that I do some hypnosis business coaching with, and she is a hypnotist and also does coaching.
Mhm.
And she said, I assumed that everybody knew what it was that I did and that everybody was on my social media knew what it was that I
Mhm.
did. But I just thought I'd shoot a little video that explains the coaching side of things that I do and how I price that. It wasn't a fancy video. She shot the video in her back garden. The sound wasn't perfect, but it was
Yeah.
good enough. And she released the video. 10 minutes later, um, she got a call from somebody. I never knew that about the coaching side of things. And she booked a 6-month coaching package with her.
Jesus. Okay.
Other people who I've suggested, okay, just on your social media, because we assume that everybody knows what it is that we do. So on your social media, just shoot a quick video, pin it that says, this is what I do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Uh, and the number of people who have done that, and then I just have people ringing up for sessions straight away. I didn't know that you did that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
you've been on my friends list for all this time. And all I've done is ever post out these things about hypnosis, but you didn't know that's what I did.
Yeah. It's I was reading a study yesterday actually. There's one, big famous marketer I follow on social media, and he's always coming up with, tests and surveys and polls and whatnot that they're doing with his company. Is like, it's one of the biggest social media companies, and they've been doing like forever ads on Facebook. They run basically more than, I think, $2 billion in ads on Facebook. So he's putting out this post, and he said, actually, now Facebook is moving more away from showing you your friends' posts, but rather showing you viral posts.
Mm,
Until now, Facebook was so much like, let me show you your friends' content so you're connected with them. But now
mm.
they want to kind of like slowly move away from that. So more or less and less people who are actually your friends on Facebook will actually get to see your posts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And, with social media channels, and again with online marketing, it's deciding which channel to focus on. So, where is your potential customer likely to hang out? What social media channel are they on? So if, say, for example, you are looking at wanting to work with businesses with hypnosis, then you would probably focus all of your attention on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
um, and posting videos on there, or doing interviews with business owners on mindset on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
create more interest. But if your likely customer is on Facebook, then focus all of your attention on that, because the danger always is that there are so many things that you kind of coulda, woulda, shoulda do, that you can spread yourself so thinly, and this is
Mm-hmm.
why people then become overwhelmed with marketing, because they
Mm-hmm.
think, oh, I hear all this stuff, and I've not got that yet, and maybe I should do this, and oh, I've got to do that, and we end up, it becomes like New Year's resolutions. We don't do any of it. But
Mm-hmm.
if we did one thing a month, or released one video a month, that improves things, we're getting those margins of improvement. And just think about it, if you did one thing a month over the next 12 months, you would be in a markedly different position than you're in now.
Mm-hmm.
So concentrate on the one channel, but do it really well and consistently, rather
So,
than to spread
yeah.
ourselves out on things.
And from your own experience, Sheila, what is the one channel that gives you best results?
So my best results come through Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and Facebook advertising. Again, if you were to look at paid Facebook ads, um, and I would recommend that people do look to run paid Facebook ads, not sponsored posts, proper Facebook advertising. Just make sure that you know how to do it properly before you invest the money, because otherwise you can spend a whole load of money with no
Mm-hmm.
return whatsoever. And there are companies out there who will say, yeah, I can do your Facebook advertising for you. And they don't really know what they're doing either. So we've got to be careful about who we spend our money with, and think about with those Facebook ads that it's not necessarily an instant return on investment. So it cannot be a buy now advert. A buy now advert is going to get you limited return, but an advert that is bringing some people to a webinar, perhaps that's free, that's learn how to reduce your anxiety, and it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
cost you anything to turn up on the webinar. They're then going to then come to your webinar or your Zoom meeting. They're going to get to hang out with you. You can give them more value. They will then turn into the customer down the line. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily an instant, um, you know, fix, an
Return on
instant.
investment.
Yeah, yeah, yes. You've got to think about the longer term process and the follow up process to that. So we've really got to look at our communication and our messaging, um,
Mm-hmm.
and really just helping people. If we help people with that, and everything is just about, come to this because I want to help you do this, and it's not going to cost you anything, and I'm just going to help you, then
Yeah.
what do people are going to say about you? And even if worst case scenario, you bring people to a webinar or to an online meeting and nobody buys. Worst case scenario, nobody buys, because they're maybe not ready to buy right now,
Yeah.
or whatever the reason may be. You can still ask all those people for a Google review. You can still make it. Did it benefit them?
Um,
Did they
that's
have?
perfect. You know what? I'm gonna have a webinar on Friday, so I'm gonna ask that. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, they'll still be willing to do a review for you.
Yeah,
You can still get testimonial from it. So it's repurposing everything that you're doing, so you can still use it for positive messages.
beautiful. That's very smart. So would you ask them to give you a review on Google or on Facebook or where?
I mean, if you're Google reviews are great for building upon Google My Business, but say if we think about it in terms of how easy is it for somebody to leave you a review, because it's got to be easy for them.
Mm-hmm.
If we say, oh, if we just send a message saying, can you leave me a review on Google My Business, and they've then got to go and find your Google account, and then they've got
Mm-hmm.
to find the link that lets them fill the review in, then if
Yeah,
it's going to take more than 2 minutes, I'm not going to do it.
yeah.
And And Eugen, so Eugen sends me things to do, and sometimes it keeps at the top of my to-do list, and sometimes it drops straight off the end because there's other things to do, and he's got to nag me and say, could you do this, please, Sheila? Because it's fallen off, or it's going to take me too long at that moment in time, so I'm not going to do it because I've got some other priority at that moment in time. Sorry, Eugen.
So for everybody who's watching this, right after we are done with this presentation, I'm going to stay with her online to do what she needs to do.
But if we think of the same in terms of asking people for a review, it's only got to take them 2 minutes. It can't. We've got to say, it's only going to. It will. I promise you, it will only take you 2 minutes. And ask it in terms of you're asking somebody a favour. So, like often, I'll go out and ask for my reviews on a Sunday afternoon because people are quiet. They're not busy with work. It's maybe a good time to ask. And I'll send them a text message or a Facebook message and say, I'm really sorry to bother you. I'm wondering if you can help me. Because people generally are willing to help people if you've helped them. I've been really remiss at asking for reviews. Could you leave a review on this link? I promise you it will only take you 2 minutes. And make sure you've got the link in that directs them straight to it, be either your Facebook page or your Google My Business or Trustpilot or whatever it is that you're using, and it's a direct link to that. And it's only going to take you this amount of time. Because if people think, how long is this going to take me to do? They're not going to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's perfect. If you're doing a webinar, perfect time to say, send me a review, what you thought to the webinar.
Yeah, and have the link ready so you can actually put that right there in the webinar before everybody walks away.
Yes.
You can put that link and get them to say, hey, you know what? If you're not joining in our program, at least give us a review. Come on, what is?
Yes, yeah. And for the review, as soon as you've got a review somewhere, you can repurpose that review. So if they've left it on Google My Business, take a screenshot photograph of it, post it out on your other social media posts, be that consistent, positive,
Wonderful. So have you actually, I meant to ask you, when you're talking about, putting a video on your website and letting people know about what you're doing, have you yet played with interactive videos?
No, to be honest with you, it's something that I'm looking at the moment. So so the people who are watching this video, you might have seen the odd video out there, only on websites, so you can't do the interactive on many of the social media channels yet, but they can be put on your website. So, so these are the ones where it says, are you interested in such and such? And you've got to click the yes or the no within the video, and then it'll take you to another part. So it can be very tailored to your customers. And I think they're a great idea, and they could be really useful ones for the future to go on people's websites, because you'll be moving people through a stage of the journey of being in touch with you.
Yeah.
So,
and in terms of being present on social media, are you doing this yourself, or do you have a VA, a virtual assistant, who's helping you with that? Do you have a team? How is this working out for you?
So I do have virtual assistants. I have in the past used social media companies to do the work for me. And I think the only thing that people need to look at is that, even if you use a VA or a external company to do your social media, you still in a way have to tell them what you want them to post out. Because give them quite a lot of direction with that to begin with until they understand your business. It's like I have a guy in the Philippines who, is one of my best members of staff, for being conscientious, quick off the mark, instant responses, and great work as well. and he produced a lot of video for me. And it says that he's been with me for 3 years now, full time. So he
Mm-hmm.
understands the business. He understands what it is that I need doing, how it needs to be portrayed, everything else. If you're
Mm-hmm.
taking somebody on for your social media, they're going to take a while to understand that. And if you don't give them direction, they will just post out what they think,
Mm-hmm.
which might not be driving your business any further. And we've got to think about it a little bit as well, that it has to be us, that us is that's been shown, you the
Mm-hmm.
person, because people buy you. So, and the social media company that you use, are they using images that are going to stop the scroll?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're not, it's probably not, it's going to be a waste of money.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. Now, in terms of, so this will be for social, but how about, like, I don't know, writing articles or emails or, announcements, event creation, product launches and stuff like that? Are you doing that all by yourself, or again, do you have
I,
somebody who's
yeah,
taking care of that?
yeah. So I tend to write a lot of the marketing copy myself,
Mm-hmm.
and it is time consuming. Um, but and obviously there are companies that you can go out to, and there's AI stuff now that you can put your stuff in
Mm-hmm.
and it'll rattle out blog posts, and there is some automation there. But if something's taking you a while to write it, be it the marketing, some marketing copy, emails, blog posts. That's the way I get my head around that, is to know in advance what I'm looking for this to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
So if this piece of marketing is to bring me in 10 new customers at £500 a customer, so this
Mm-hmm.
piece of marketing I'm writing is 5,000, for example. That's what I'm intending for it to happen. Then is it worth my time spending a day, putting a full day aside to concentrate on writing that myself and getting it right?
Mm-hmm.
Because really, I'm sitting and writing 5,000.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good perspective on things, right? Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's worth that little bit of effort, isn't it? Um, and so it's the same with any outsourcing. As soon as you go to outsourcing, and you do always reach a point in your business where you cannot do everything yourself and you have to outsource, because you stifle your own expansion if
Mm-hmm.
you don't. But so you've got to be working on the things that you really need to be doing yourself. But
Mm-hmm.
when you outsource, there is always going to be a slight period of time when you're still going to have to do a lot of effort with that company, so they understand what's needed going forward. You can't
Mm-hmm.
just say, "Oh, you do that now," because you'll get it back and you'll think, "No, that's not what I wanted." Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it's always going to take time. It's a bit like taking on a new employee. You can't expect somebody to turn up at your offices and be able to just do something straight away.
Yeah.
Um, so
What I've been doing, talking about VAs, I also have recently, I was doing some collaborations with some people here locally, but recently I went to one of these big websites which facilitate, getting access to VAs.
mm,
And I got two VAs from Philippines, who are working on the transcripts and subtitles for the videos that we are making.
mm,
And what I did with them, because like you said yourself, you have to instruct them, so that will take some time, at least in the beginning. But then you don't have to think about it anymore.
mm,
But what I
mm,
did, I actually created some short videos, and I said, so here's how you do this, right? So I just
mm.
went through the whole process. I made the video, and then I gave them the video and said, watch this, do it. If you have questions, let me know. So
Yes.
then they just go and do it. And when I wake up, it's like, and they're very nice. I say, sir, I finished the job. I had a question here or a problem here. I just go check, all
Mm,
good, next. and I just give them some more work to do. So
Yeah.
so that's been a lot of time saving for me. Now this is a question, and this is something that came to my mind many times, because you can either find somebody who is like a volunteer to help you, or you can find a VA. Volunteer, you don't pay with money, you pay with attention and other things. VAs, you pay with money. And some people say, well, instead of paying them, I'd rather do it myself. What do you think of that, Sheila?
Mm-hmm. Well, they say with anything, you will always reach a point in your business, and I've reached the point many times where actually you start to think, I am stifling my own growth here. I cannot grow
Mm-hmm.
anymore because I haven't got any more hours in the day. I've maxed out the hours,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Mm-hmm.
jobs still aren't getting done.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a little bit like where I am now, which is why your link never got done, because I've done the same thing again. I've maxed out the hours, so something has to give, because otherwise, either everything will stay the same, the same thing. There is no change without change. So
Yeah.
we've either got to go through that, take somebody on, and the difference between paying somebody and somebody kind of just making an arrangement with that you'll do something for them doing something, is that you're always going to get more benefit and it being done right if you are paying for a service
Mm-hmm.
than you are on, I've got a friend who does websites and they promise they'll do it and I'll do some hypnosis sessions for them.
Yeah.
If they take 6 months to do your website, you can't really say anything to them, can you? Whereas if you're paying for a job to be done, then you are paying for a job to be done.
Yeah. Yeah. And there will be no time delay or anything like that, for
No,
sure.
no. And I have to say, like say I've got most of my VAs from onlinejobs.ph.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a website for hiring people in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And, it's a lot cheaper than if you paid a Western company to do something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, some people think, well, is this slave labor? But because it's so much cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But for their standard of living, what you're actually paying them is a good wage for them.
Yeah.
And if you are going to, sort of, look to hire somebody, I really look after my VAs,
Mm-hmm.
really look after them. So, I will, if they do a good piece of work, I will pay them extra that they're not expecting. And when
Mm-hmm.
we do that and we look after them, they will do even more work for you and a better work for you. They
Mm-hmm.
have a fantastic work ethic, fantastic work ethic.
Yeah.
They want to work for a Western company. They want to do a good job for you. And I'm a big believer in looking after people. So I remember,
Mm-hmm.
when I first took my video guy on, he produced a video for me, the first video. And I pay him the grand total of 102 UK pounds full time a
Mm-hmm.
week. Now he produced a video for me, the first video, and that video made sales of 9,000 UK pounds.
Yeah.
The first video one. I've only paid just over £100 for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I immediately sent him a bonus of 600 UK pounds.
Wow, that is a big bonus.
A big bonus, big bonus. And to him, it's just like, I've just given him £1 million. I've just given him like the world.
Yeah.
Um, but, and that's why now, if I had, something that needed doing, in the next 2 hours and it was the middle of the night there, he would get up and he would do it without
Yeah.
question. I wouldn't even have to ask.
Yeah.
He straight on think, because he knows that he was, and he goes to university as well. So
Mm-hmm.
he asked for an advance once for his university fees. I just give it without question.
Yeah.
It's like, if you look after people, they will really look after you too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so
That is very, very powerful advice right there, because it's so important to create this shift, this energy. And I wanted to ask you, when we are in this world of trying to promote our services, maybe promote, some people don't like that word, let me say that, making ourselves known. How do you, it's like, what should you invest your time, money, attention into? What would be your advice for, the next year or so? Like, what do you see as the right direction for people who are watching this? Where should they focus their knowledge, their, attention to learn more, to grow their business?
I mean, I've always found that, like whenever selling hypnosis, we're selling a solution to a problem.
Mm-hmm.
If we, just go out to try and sell hypnosis, a lot of people don't really understand still what that is and how it
Yeah.
works. And so I've always looked at, what is happening in my community, what's happening in the world at the moment. And I would send out, press releases about, helping people with their anxiety during a pandemic, offering classes, um, anything that's happening currently. What are the current things? So in the UK at the moment, we've got Stoptober, which is, people tend to stop smoking in October.
Yeah.
So that's a great time for us to be putting our messages out about that.
Yeah.
What advice can you give to somebody without actually doing a full session for free? What advice can you give people, that sort of resonates with those people?
Yeah.
Because we've really got to look at, what are we doing every day so people do know about us in any way that we can. And if we go with current topical things that people are already talking about, then we're putting our name in amongst that too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So should you start talking about, I don't know, COVID, because that's what's fashionable right now?
Mm. Well, there's no, I mean, the only danger, I suppose, of talking about COVID is that you draw in the anti-vaxxers and the, oh, I don't think, and the conspiracy and all of those things if you're not careful. And we don't really want to get drawn into that.
Mm-hmm.
But, you can talk about the implications that COVID has had. So, say, for example, in Australia at the moment, in Melbourne, they're finally opening up, they've had the longest lockdown ever. I think from all around the world, they've had the longest lockdown. And so, people are feeling nervous about going back out into the world,
Mm-hmm.
Um, during COVID, I talked about some of the weight loss things in a jokey way, because here in the UK, on the first lockdown, what everybody did is we all baked cakes. So we're all staying at home and we're all going to bake cakes. We're all going to get into baking. We're going to bake our own bread. We're going to bake our cakes.
Yeah.
And so, we quickly shifted habits. And then in the second lockdown, everybody thought, I'm going to get into exercise. So we're all going to go out jogging and we're all going to go out every
Yeah.
day. The third lockdown, nobody could be asked to do anything. We're just going to stay in. I'm not going to get fatter. I'm not going to do any exercise.
Yeah.
But people's habits shifted, or people suddenly started, instead of having a beer at 7 o'clock, oh, we'll have a beer at 4 o'clock. And that 4 o'clock became every day. And then we've done it for a period of time. So we've formed a habit
Yeah.
now and we can't stop doing it. So, they're all avenues for us to talk about how we change somebody's habits and help people overcome that by talking about something that's completely relevant in today's world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if I were to sum up, don't talk about what you know, but talk about solutions for problems that people are looking for. Is that
Mm.
correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. What are the
And
solutions that people are
mhm.
looking for?
And as you're saying that, because you said people don't know what hypnosis is. Many people don't know what engineering is, or what, I don't know, artificial intelligence is. We hear this in terms thrown around, but we don't really know. We kind of have an idea about what it is, but we don't really know. So
Yeah.
somebody actually made it a very good example, said, saying like something like, you think AI is bad and AI is taking over, and they goes, well, AI has, you've been using it AI for the past 20 years. It just was not called AI, but this is what it is. So if you have a phone, that's AI. If you have computer, that's AI, and everything is. But and he was explaining it with solutions with things that people are already using, but they didn't know they're using. So he was not like trying to defend the AI as much as he was saying, this is what it does.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And some people will take a different view to it and think, oh well, yeah, we need to, show people hypnosis all the time, and that can be another way of doing it. So we've either got to, we can do it by that way, or we can intersperse the two, whereby we're showing people how it all works, but we're also doing the education and looking at, okay, what are the solutions that need fixing.
Beautiful, beautiful. Sheila, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for everything you've shared with us. Please tell us, where can people find you? How can they get in touch with you?
Well, I will also provide a download. So some of the things that I've talked about today, plus also what it'll be, it's almost like a roadmap for your hypnotherapy business in 2021 and beyond, of all the different aspects you can look at, like a 15 points
Wow.
post-pandemic checklist that you can start
Jeez.
checking off the things in your hypnosis business to maybe what you could be looking at.
Awesome.
So I'll obviously give that to you, but anybody who wants to contact me, you can find me on Facebook. It's actually under Sheila Elaine Granger. Because the reason it's that is it's not because people call me hello Sheila Elaine Granger. It's because I flipped my personal page at one point to a business page, and of course then you cannot have the same name again on another personal page. So I'd say, oh, Sheila Elaine Granger then. I still regret doing that to this day. And then, so find me on Facebook or websites, sheilagranger.com. I'm always happy to hear from people. I'm always happy to give people, half an hour of my time, completely complimentary, just to say where they are now, where they're trying to get to, and give people a few pointers to how they might want to make that happen.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Everybody, you know where to find Sheila, either on Facebook or on her website. And go ahead and do that, because she has tremendous knowledge and amount of information that you can, learn from her. Right now, what you need to do, you need to take a break. Maybe you don't need to, but it just sounds like that. So we'll take a break. Make sure you share your notes with us in the Facebook group, and then we'll see you after the break, or we'll see you tomorrow. Sheila, again, thank you so much for your time and for your knowledge.
Nice talking to you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.